Christ is risen. Indeed, he is risen. I'm making this video. I'm starting to have a migraine. I'm making this video because why is it that the VA, even amongst their staff, they let people retaliate and even set a veteran up to fail? And they actually had a social worker tell me, because I wanted some help, more comprehensive, help to get on my feet. And the social worker said, well, you want more help? Then come with me over to mental health and I'll get you more help. He actually said that. This doesn't represent all VA social workers. Certainly doesn't represent all African American social workers. This is a guy that probably, I don't know if he's a part of the extremist group of the guy who assaulted me, but this is the social worker that gave the turkey to a friend of his who gave it to the people who assaulted me. Sometimes you find a bad apple in a bushel. You just take it out of the bushel and throw it away. But, why do we repeatedly get pushed to the hotline? Repeatedly. There's even some people that have put out there, politicians, and even some people that work for the IG, that have said that it seems that veterans get pushed to the hotline more than they get the help that they need. And when you call the hotline, it starts a whole chain reaction, which can be destructive. For single parents, destructive. If you're somebody that, that wants to continue to have a life to work, especially, doing an investigation or assisting, with force protection or law enforcement or anything where you have to carry a weapon because they're going to try to take it away. And then you'll get the label slapped on you too, being mentally ill or shell-shocked, PTSD'd out, stuff like that. But, why is it that people keep getting pushed to the hotline instead of getting the help to get on their feet or help for the right pain meds or, help for their medical issues that are being gaslit? I think this is a fundamental flaw with the VA. It's like they want to repeatedly victimize veterans. So in essence, what this says to a patriot like me, who's educated, who I guess is kind of middle of the road, and looks at everything for its own merits, I have no problem with complicated issues. But what I'm thinking is when a veteran asks for help and they had to be bullied even more or stigmatized even more, that's telling the veteran that your service doesn't matter. We have to disable you further because your service doesn't matter. Your whatever, happened to you over there. A lot of people are coming back with concussion or IED injuries or limb loss. Well, evidently some people feel it's not enough. And I think that's pretty insulting for veterans. Yeah, whatever happened to you is not enough. We're going to do more. And, especially problematic, like I said, for a single parent. My health issues hold me back a lot. People say, oh, go get a job at a dollar store, or Walmart, or a gas station. They don't understand with multiple graduate degrees and with some health issues, plus the fact that I'm over 40, it's not that simple. So we live in poverty. And when I try to, get one of my businesses up and going again, somebody sabotages it. The biggest sabotage for us was when the people at our complex vandalized our car. And the owner knows about it. The property management company knows about it. Nobody did anything about it. Matter of fact, the police wouldn't even prosecute the tow truck and the junkyard that took the vehicle because they were title jumping. They never filed the title. So according to the paper, I still own the vehicle, but we don't know where it is. The police refused to do anything about it. Matter of fact, they refused to even file a report. And this is how it is when you're repeatedly targeted, you know? Stuff keeps happening, so people are getting more aggressive and organizing against us and targeting us a lot more aggressive. The time may come, something's going to happen to me. And like I always say in many of my videos, there's a lot of parties that I hold responsible. I'll start with my family. They don't want to get involved unless we're a part of their church, because that's the attitude of their church leadership. This church leadership, they rip apart more families than they build bridges. And, I've always been the one to reach out and try to build bridges between my immediate family and my extended family, but I can't anymore. And then we can go to the city council that they've been served more than once. I've showed up at their city council meetings more than once. They've done nothing, including the chief of police for the city of Saginaw. Has done nothing. Including the prosecutor for the county has done nothing. Including the chief of police for Buena Vista has done nothing. Including the chief of police for Saginaw Township, which he may or may not have knowledge, but some of his deputies do, or not deputies, some of his officers do. And then we will go to people in Hud-Vash. Some of those people have actively done stuff to harm my family. And then we go to the Saginaw VA. Some of the healthcare team have actively done things to sabotage my healthcare, including repeated retaliation against me by flagging me. Even though I've been through more, I'm more calm, I'm more, calm affect and more educated and of better military bearing than the vast majority of them who worked there. And then we can go to Becca. But again, at least they've tried. They're trying to balance protecting veterans with a couple of complexes that target people because race, religion. At least they're making a small effort, like a hair. One hair's pace of an effort, but it's better than nothing. And then MDHHS, even though every now and then we'll get a worker who will say, okay, you just do your best to, do this in your program. But to have us get off the program and get on our feet, we never get help for that. That's supposed to be the goal, We've had people threaten us. Yeah, if you don't do this and this, Michigan Works doesn't want to work with you anymore. You got to do this and this, or they're going to take your benefits, stuff. I'm always the problem. When I'm just trying to protect my rights and my family and trying to get on my feet. Yep. And then the Housing Commission, the Saginaw Housing Commission. I was told by them everything that happened. You need to go to legal aid. There's nothing we can do for you. And to get a HAP contract from any of them is like trying to squeeze coal into a diamond myself. No HAP contract. Never. Then we go, the places that we've lived at, or we've lived at properties that were owned by them, Countryway, Midwest Capital Management. These are also some of the portfolios that they fall under. Midwest Capital Management, Morley Capital Management, Countryway Townhomes, LLC, Premier Real Estate, Premier One, Premier R3, let's see, Now, I don't know if these names exist anymore, but the crossing and Buena Vista Homes or something. I forget the name. Things change. Let's see. Then you got Premier Property Management. Then we can't forget the Auburn Econo Lodge. Now, some of these places may or may not have changed hands, and I've found that some places change hands, but they wait to update their LARA filings. That way, it's harder to make a complaint against them or sue them. They'll delay, because you can always do an update to your filing, or pay things in retroactively. So some people try to wait as long as they can. But those are some of the things that are responsible for what's happened to myself and my daughter. And my daughter here. And I don't know the connection between Buena Vista, their township board, and all of the, stuff that's going on with the towers and anything. I don't know if they're connected or not. But I know that the police have been made aware of by me at least a dozen times that people are hacking people through the towers. They're making trouble for families. They're intercepting calls for 911. Whole bunch of stuff going on. They say we don't have the manpower to investigate that stuff. That's what they've said multiple times. Yeah, and I know there's a lot of racism in Saginaw and in Buena Vista, but they refuse to deal with it. In some ways, it's institutionalized. I believe that God is the true judge. Christ is the most just judge of all. He knows people's hearts. He knows their intentions. I don't. I only know what's happened to my daughter and myself. And I just think it's absolutely horrible what is happening to some of the veterans in Saginaw County. It's absolutely shocking. And the fact that people would bend over backwards to hide it, it's concerning. They'll try to blame one group or another, but the fact of the matter is it should never be happening at all. What's happened to my family under the Geneva Convention is considered war crimes. If we were in a combat situation, we would have already violated the Geneva Convention. Not us, actually, people who have done things to us. And we're kept prisoner. Financially, we barely have enough money to survive. And it's wrong. And if something happens to my daughter, I pray that the Lord will hold people accountable, because He will raise knights. He'll raise Lady and Lord Knights, people who are righteous, who will say, this is wrong. If this happened to this guy, it's happening to others. We need to stop it. So Christ is risen. Indeed, He's always risen.